Let me read something to you. There's this house. It's in a location that's surrounded by trees. It's next to water. You can enjoy lazy nights sitting on the front porch, perhaps drinking or sipping your iced tea. Imagine yourself in the winter cozying up to a beautiful fireplace on those cold nights. This house is easy to get to and very easy to access all the major shopping and the major routes around. Would you want to go look at that house? Sounds nice. Or is it? It's the Real Estate Show. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. My name is Rick Naples. I am a broker here in the state of Connecticut, owner of a company called Zone Realty LLC. You zone your home. Now, the teaser at the beginning of the show, I read you a description of a home that's on the market. The description is designed in such a way to maybe pique your interest as a buyer to want to go see that home. And maybe if you like it, make an offer on it. You see, that's what realtors do. Part of the way that a realtor markets a home is they provide descriptions along with the data to try to appeal to the widest range of potential buyers in the market. Now, again, as I mentioned on many shows, because we're still dealing with it at this filming time, is we just coming out of the pandemic with the coronavirus. Right now, it is June of 2021, and we have a shortage of homes that are for sale. It doesn't take much when a house comes on the market, if it's priced correctly, to get buyers to come out and take a look at it, because there's a lot of competition for the little bit of inventory that's out there. And we even are seeing multiple offers on houses, battles as far as pricing is concerned. People making offers over what the asking is, trying to entice the seller to accept their offer. If it's a nice house and it's move-in condition, those houses get a lot of competition on them. But if it's a house that has, a few little problems here and there, sometimes a realtor has to, for lack of better words, paint a picture or stretch the description a little bit to kind of entice the buyer to want to look at that particular home. In our industry, that's referred to as puffing. Puffing is an exaggeration. It's a stretch of the truth. It's not a lie, and it's not illegal. But it is a way of trying to present something in its best light. I mean, after all, that's our job, one of our many jobs as a realtor. When we list a home for sale, right? We want to get buyers interested in taking a look at that house. So we want to kind of describe it in a way that's going to appeal. Now, in the beginning, I read you a description on a house, and that description simply was that the house is in a location that's surrounded by trees. It's next to water. Imagine enjoying yourself sitting on the front porch, sipping an iced tea on a cold winter night, cozying up to the fireplace. It also says that it's an easy house to get to. Its location is close to shops and all the major routes. It paints a very nice picture in your mind. But that could be interpreted as The house is surrounded by trees. Well, in reality, there's 4 trees, one on each side of the house, and each one of the trees is dead and filled with termites. It's next to water. Well, that can mean the house is on the border edge of wetlands, or it's in a swamp, or maybe it's so close to a river edge that it's about ready to fall in. Imagine yourself sitting on the front porch. Well, maybe the front porch is the only stable part of the whole house. And how about cozying up to the fireplace? Well, is the fireplace actually in the house, or is it a fire pit somewhere out in the yard someplace? So, see, this is what I mean. And also when you see things like easy to get to shopping or all major routes, well, how do you know that that house is not in a commercial residential area where you're going to have tons of traffic going by and lots of noise and headlights shining in the windows all night long? You don't, unless you go out and take a look at the home. I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that some realtors are very good copywriters. They can write really nice descriptions of homes no matter what kind of shape the home is in. We can also present pictures on homes, just showing those pictures that highlight the best of the house. With over 80%, according to the National Association of Realtors, of buyers looking for homes on the internet, they're looking at pictures and they're reading descriptions. And we're even, because of competition, seeing some buyers buying houses without even going to see them. That kind of amazes me, because I can't understand why anyone would invest thousands of dollars in a property without actually going out and seeing it. So am I trying to say don't trust what you see or read when you see it on the internet or in the paper or however which way you're looking at it? Go out and see the house? Well, yes. Am I calling realtors liars? No. What I'm saying is you need to go out and physically walk through a house. I mean, we don't have the technology yet to be able to online experience a home and get a feeling of the size and the area by being there. There's nothing like being inside of a house to get a sense of how that house feels, what it sounds like, or imagining your property or your furniture in that house. So it's really important that you go out and take a look at the house no matter what the description is all about. depending on what a home or a house has to offer, realtors will pick certain things to highlight to attract attention to that particular listing. Now, we all know that every single house, when it's listed, is going to have pictures. Believe it or not, there is a science behind and a methodology behind how to organize those photographs to expose the house to the widest range of buyers that there are. And realtors are trained into techniques on how to do that. That's why sometimes when you're searching through the internet, you may see a picture that is not of the house. It's a picture of something else. Maybe it's a well-done bathroom or a beautiful yard or something like that. And it takes you scanning through several pictures before you actually get to see what the house looks like. There's a reasoning behind that because, again, as I said earlier, the terminology I use is that a realtor is trying to put the house's best foot forward. They're trying to present it in its best light. Another thing that we might do as realtors is we'll go through the house and we'll try to imagine different possibilities. Let's say, for instance, that there's a house that's being listed and it only has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Well, today's average buyer is looking for a minimum of 3 bedrooms and they would like to have a bath and a half. And I could do a whole show on the plus and minuses of garages, but we won't talk about that right now. So a 2-bedroom home with only 1 bath might not be a home that a lot of people would be interested in. It's going to need a very specific type of clientele. So a realtor might say, this is the perfect house when you're scaling down. In other words, what they mean is perhaps you're in a life position where the kids are grown and they're away and it's now just you and your spouse or just yourself. And this is a great little house that has what you need. You don't need a lot of house. Or they might say this 2-bedroom, 1-bath house is the great starter home. You know, starter homes. I love starter homes. That's for someone that's buying their very first house. Perhaps they're a single buyer, or they're someone that hasn't started a family yet. So see what I mean? I mean, trying to paint a picture or a description to try and attract the group of buyers that might be interested in that home. I've also seen realtors put in the descriptions that, you know, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home. However, it has possibilities of finishing the basement for extra space. Or it has an attic that might be able to be finished for extra square footage. In other words, they're trying to say that, yeah, it's only 2 bedrooms, but for the right buyer, you can possibly make it into a 3-bedroom home. Same thing goes with bathrooms. I've seen a lot of houses, a lot of descriptions where somewhere in the description it will say easy access to plumbing for adding a 2nd bathroom or something along those lines. Again, trying to create in the mind of the potential viewer the possibilities of that house and them wanting to take a look at that house, not just kind of dismissing it because it doesn't have the 3 bedrooms and bath and a half that they're looking for. There's a lot of different things that we're able to do to try and do that point of the job as a realtor to attract buyers, besides just the pricing of the home. I mean, obviously, if a home is priced correctly to the market, it's going to attract a lot of attention, especially if it's priced under the market, which we haven't seen on any homes recently because of the pandemic and the shortage of inventory that I mentioned earlier. But we're trying to get as many buyers to come look at that home as we possibly can. Now, When you pull up the information on a house, you look at all the data. And the data there sometimes is correct, sometimes it's not. And that's not necessarily the realtor's fault. I've had situations where listings of mine I've posted on the multiple listing service, and that information has been shared or scraped or transferred to other websites, some big ones, some little ones, as well as very many other realtor sites. And it's done either electronically or it's done by somebody sitting at a computer who basically just retypes in the information in their format. And they make a mistake. You know, maybe they say there's a bath and a half in the house, but there's only one bathroom. Or they don't put the right square footage. Square footage can be very misleading. A lot of times realtors, when they list houses, they'll use the square footage that's on the assessor's card, and sometimes they don't look to see what the difference is between the total square footage and the living square footages in the house. So you think you're going to go look at a house that's 3,000 square feet, and you get there, and it's only 1,000 square feet because the other square footage is an attic and a basement. So again, you know, one of the points I want to make during this show is how important it is to physically go out and look at a house, not necessarily believe what you're seeing in print. Another times that you'll see things that are put in the listings that transfer to other sites that could be incorrect is that the house has one of the more common ones I saw recently was the house was available as a lease to purchase. Well, it turns out this particular site that was taking these listings off the MLS and putting it on theirs, they have a format of different things that get checked off that apply to that particular listing. And one of the items on that list is a lease with purchase to buy. And people see that and they get all excited because they say, oh, geez, I can get this house and I'll just rent it. And then when I have my money saved up, then I'll buy it. Got to be careful with that because maybe that's not what that house is offering or that potential that house is offering. It just happens to be a field on that particular listing on that site that's not checked off. It's just one of the many items that are in there. I've seen listings same way where it indicates there's a swimming pool and there is no swimming pool at the house. Again, you just have to be careful what you're reviewing and what you're reading. Now I want to take a moment to talk about bedrooms. Bedrooms are an interesting subject, and it does allow us as realtors to get a little creative in describing the number of rooms in a house. Let's go back to our two-bedroom house again. Let's say that we have a standard Cape Cod, and it's 2 bedrooms with 1 full bath, but it has that walk-up attic that we've seen in many Capes can be split into 2 more bedrooms and maybe even put a bathroom upstairs. So you'll see things like, as I said, possibility of finishing the attic for additional rooms. Or we'll see older homes that traditionally had a living room and a separate dining room, and the realtor may say dining room is a potential 3rd bedroom. Again, trying to attract as many buyers as possible to that home. Now, one of the questions I get asked as a realtor is, if you have a room in a house and it doesn't have a closet, can you call it a bedroom? And we can argue about this for hours. Bottom line simply is what a bedroom is. It's a room that gives you privacy. It's basically all a bedroom is, a room of privacy. So yes, you can have a room in a house that doesn't have a closet, As long as there's a door where that room can be closed off to the rest of the house to give you privacy, you might be able to use that or call it a bedroom. Is it a perfect room for a bedroom, or is it a room you'd want to have a bedroom in? Well, that would be up to you when you go to take a look at the house. This is the part of the real estate show that I use this opportunity to kind of make a final word or final comment on the subject of the show, or just something that happens to be on my mind as far as real estate is concerned. We're still in a period where many buyers are competing for the few homes that are out there that are listed for sale. And sometimes emotions come into play where we lose all of our logic. We're seeing, in order to win a specific house, buyers making offers over the listing price. And you have to remember, folks, the listing price on the home is a statistical number that the agent and the seller have put on the home based on documented like closings in the area. This is the number that everyone's usually confident about that the house will appraise for should it be someone that's looking to finance. Well, because of the competition on homes and so few homes on inventory, buyers are bidding over that price. And that causes two huge issues. One, the house will never appraise for that amount and the deal falls apart. Or two, it's someone who's a cash buyer and doesn't care about the appraisal and overpays for the house. And they're going to be stuck with that house for a very long time until the market grows enough for them to be able to at least get out what they paid for the house. So you have to be very cautious. Get the advice of your realtor. Look at the numbers and go forth making an offer that you're comfortable with. My name is Rick Naples, and this has been The Real Estate Show. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.